Is it worth focusing your business to go and get an integrity deal?
If you would have just told me to do telesales, I would have been out of this business in 27
You
seconds.
say, how critical would you say it is to find someone that you can follow?
You die or your business dies when you stop dreaming.
Stop being all professional and just talk. Just give them the business.
Because if you ain't never been there, this don't make no sense. I was in that boat of like, I needed to be forced and give myself more possibilities to win.
What you're going to discover is the higher you go, people, they can't knock your success, so they're going to knock your character.
And I think I'm like most people. Most people lazy. Most people never owned a business.
This is real. Like, I'm not just
making. Tell you to go in the field until you're making money. And then when you're making money, if you make a decision to try to learn telesales and do your deal, and it doesn't work, at least you have something to fall back on. Yeah. Because if you're just doing telesales, it's very transactional. If you don't build a real relationship, your business will get replaced. Yep. It will. It will. It will. It will. You have got to build a relationship on telesales, and that happens at the close.
To Haven, Enter the Haven, also known as Haven Real Talk. So Mac Agabor, I'll be hosting today. I'm excited. It's like one of those situations when I played soccer, Dom. So for me, it's like that first day. You guys ever play the sport when you were a kid and you went to sleep in your cleats because you were so excited for the next day? I've been thinking about that for a while because Dom Rodgers is someone that I've idolized in essence. And for those of you that may not know him, I want to set the stage. This is what service looks like. Dom Rodgers coming out here just helping us out and just kind of pouring his heart. It's like calling the fire department to get a cat out of a tree, right? Because the caliber of person he is, he has no financial interest here. This is what service looks like. He's just paying it forward, right? So Dom, I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you. And we're going to just do a little bit different. You've been on these so many times. I'm sure it's like clockwork for you. But we're going to throw a bunch of questions at you. And folks, as he chats, this is an opportunity to glean from someone of experience. So throw your questions in the chat. And then at the very, very end, we're going to do a rapid fire, just boom, 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 so we can get as much as we can from this. So Dom, thank you again. So kind of just start from the beginning. We always start with the question that is been on folks' mind. You are an integrity partner. I mean, one of the first, I mean, actually, I think you're on one of the second Black integrity partner there is. Integrity, is it all it's cut out to be? Is it worth focusing your business to go and get an integrity deal? If so, why and why not?
Yeah. Well, first off, Mac, I thank you for having me on here. And you know what, man, to be in a position of just doing something before others have done it is just an honor. It doesn't make you better. Honestly, it just makes you're just lucky, whatever the way you would like it. I think sometimes you look at it and be like, dude, I'm blessed I wasn't around in the 70s when it was just paper applications, right? But then on the other end, you could be like, damn, I missed the come up in the 70s. Makes sense? Like there's always going to be a pro and a hindsight's always 2020 type of view to look at stuff. Makes sense?
Yeah.
And so I'm very humbled to be on here, man, and I'm working hard every day for the new agent who comes on and who's still dreaming, right? And I still dream, and I think you die or your business dies when you stop dreaming, and relationships die when you stop dreaming that those relationships can grow, you know. So integrity, for me, man, it wasn't an integrity thing, meaning, was it worth it, like to go like integrity specifically? It was more of, this was where our company was headed. This is where my mentor, Sean Mike, this is where he was heading. And I'm not one of those, Mac, that needs to know everything about everything. There's just people that I trust in life And just so happens sometimes I trust him in business. Notice I say sometimes. You can't trust everybody. that would be foolish, right? I'm not saying distrust people. I'm just saying don't go all in if you're hedging your bets, right? But I've never hedged my bets with Sean Mike. So if Sean Mike was like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is the best thing for you and your family," call me a fool, dude. I just go, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
And
it.
some people may hear that and go, "Yo, that's kind of crazy. Like, you didn't have an attorney look at your contract, or you didn't have this." I was like, nah, because my attorney would have been somebody Sean would have recommended to me anyways. Why? Because does that make sense? Like, I find it easier to be an entrepreneur than an entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is, dude, it's okay to have ownership, but just follow people. You know? So to answer your question about is it worth? Absolutely, it's worth it.
But you were following
Absolutely.
Sean. So let me ask you
Yeah.
this. In this day and
Yeah.
age, listen, that's dangerous, they say, because it's all
Mm-hmm.
about individual, the idea of team, it's kind of going the way of the world of trusting
Yeah.
someone so much that
Right.
I guess let me ask you this question, because you trust Sean, because as people
Yeah.
grow, what you're going to discover is the higher you go, people, they can't knock your success, so they're going to knock your character. That's all they
Right.
can. So what is it about Sean Mike that made you say, you know what, I'm going to just decide with my eyes closed because I trust you that much?
Dude, to be real, is that he just always kept it real with me. Like, I knew some of the things that he helped me out with were because he wanted to see me win, not because he wanted to be my friend. Okay. For example, when I started in the business, I'm 23, just turning 24 years old. Okay. He asked me, "What's your mom do for work?" I go, "My mom owns a salon." He goes, "How many?" I said, "Salon, one." He goes, "How many people work at her salon?" I go, "Just her." He goes, "Okay, does she own the building?" I go, "No, she rents it." He goes, "Dom, your mom's self-employed. I'm going to teach you how to be a business owner." Now, I've known him at this point for about a week. I love my mom with all I got from 0 until 23. When he said this to me, my mom was the biggest business owner in hell in hair that I ever thought. Does that make sense? Like, in my mind,
Yeah.
obviously we weren't rich by any means, but if you would have told me that my mom wasn't a business owner, I would have said you were a fool.
Yeah. And that's about a
So
weekend, and you were,
about a weekend, he's just talking. We're just having a conversation. He just wants to know more about me. But instead of him letting me believe that my mom's a business owner, he checks my thinking on somebody that I really love, that I could choose to be offended. I can choose to go, "Who's this white guy from Connecticut telling me what my mom is or isn't?" Right? I could have. That was a choice. See, and that's why I look at, like, to be offended is a choice, because somebody could have heard the exact same thing I heard and been like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah. Nah, I can't mess with him. He tried to tell me." But I saw it as, dude, he would only tell me that if he wanted to help me. Like, he's not trying to diss my mom. What does he get from that?
yeah.
Makes sense. I always think about that when somebody's telling you something that may hurt. Think, what do they get from that? Like, would they really just do that to hurt me, or should I look at it? Got it, right? Another example, and I'd say this isn't so much at the beginning, but just to let you know how this thing keeps going, right? Like, so that was at the beginning, right? He's always kept it real with me. There were some times I was doing some stupid stuff at the beginning of the business, and he let me know real quick that, like, this is how he takes care of his family and his kids. And if I'm going to be an idiot, I can be an idiot somewhere else.
Wow. So he
But
challenged you like that up front, willing to let you.
correct, I'm selling $20,000-$30,000 a month, right? But he's willing to not just go, "Well, he's an idiot. Let's just keep him around and let him do stupid stuff."
Yeah.
He's gonna go, "No, dude, you're gonna. This is how I take care of my kids.
Wow.
So I don't care how much you sell. We're not going to be doing that. You need to grow up." So
Hmm.
I could have been offended, or I could have been like, "Yeah, he's right, dude. I'm 24. I'm being an idiot, and why am I doing that? And let's grow up." Make sense?
Good.
A choice, right? A choice. But I needed that, right? I needed somebody because I never had that. I had my mom; she was always working, and whoever she was dating, they tried to have some authority or whatnot, but it really wasn't there. And so I needed somebody to keep it real with me. And to just um, fast forward, man, it was 2020. A lot was going on in the world. Okay.
And
A
you've been in
lot.
business. How long you been in business at the time with FFL?
At that time, 6 years, 7 years.
And you've been crushing it every year.
Yeah, like we're doing good. You know what I mean? Like we're doing good, man. And adversity happens, all over the place. But you know what I mean? We're moving forward.
Yeah.
But this year, just to let you know about Sean and the relationship, and he he let me know early on, or not early on, 2020, a lot was going on. George Floyd, whole lot going on. I'm a new dad. My son's like a year old, right? So like everything that's happening in my life is new to me with the responsibility that I have now, right? And so I really took a stance of, man, I got to educate my peers because my peers aren't just black or white. My peers are folks that are in business with me. And there was a lot more people in business with me who don't look like me than look like me. And I felt like I was robbing them of the experience that I've had over the last, at that point, 32 years in this country. Okay. And because there's a lot of stuff I didn't share with them because I was like, why would they care? But then all this stuff happening, I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I'm like, oh, you don't know because we never told you. That's why. I've never told you. I didn't tell you that I got pulled over on the way to the office because why would it matter to you? But now hindsight's 2020. I should have told you because then you would have had empathy and maybe does that make sense? Like there's you know what I mean? So I felt obligated to be the person to educate, right? Played baseball growing up. Like most of my teams, I'm the only black dude on the team. But like I understand that. I understand where I am and who I am at all times. So at that point in time, I was like, maybe this is a place for me to stand up. Maybe this is a time for me to educate. Well, talk about integrity, right? This is the time. We're moving, we're growing. Sean calls me up and he goes, hey, dude, this is tough. I go, all right, what's up? He goes, well, I make fast decisions. I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks. Just to let you know, whatever you think you're doing and everything you're saying is 100% right. It sucks that I have to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this because I love you. You want an integrity deal, right? I was like, yeah, man, I would love it. He goes, where do you think, now I don't know this, but where do you think they fall as it pertains to the messages and things that you're putting out there? Just a guess. And I said, I don't have to say nothing. He goes, now, I want your family to win. Now, you could be right or you could win.
I love it.
I said, I love you, bro. And I shut it down. And 6 months later, we're partnered. Now, I'm not saying that that's the reason why, but he didn't have to come to me, Mac. He didn't have to. He could have been, man, who am I, a white dude from Connecticut, to tell him, a black man in this country, on what to say or what not to say or how to say it. But he knew that what I had in store for me in the future was bigger than that moment for me and my family. So that was a long answer to like why I just follow, but I just follow. You with me? I just follow because not following, it would have led me to some dark places, my guy. Make sense?
You know what's awesome about that, and again, we're starting here on purpose, y'all. I know some people keep X's and O's, but here's the truth. Just remember, I always say this: the strategist will always defeat the tactician any day of the week. The tactician is just show me what to do, but just tell me how to think is what you're looking for. So I want to ask you this: it's interesting today because a lot of people come and go in FFL. A lot of people, a lot of good people, but very few come and stay. And so what I want to kind of highlight, if you will, is what maybe behind the scenes of the Dom Rodgers. It takes a very, very unique person to stay at FFL because, hey, we got the lead, you'll win, but to stay around long enough, to be bad enough, long enough to get good. So let's back up to the beginning. You grew up in Northern California.
Yep.
We know you played baseball and you were good. So if you can kind of track back, just give us a little bit, and then we'll get into some X's and O's of what is it, what created you that, and then go into the baseball that when the FFL hit you, you were ready. Or maybe you weren't.
Well, you know what, dude? it was sports, man. Like that was it. Like I've always played something. I've always was doing something. And once this came to me, I found out about it through a friend of mine who I played baseball with at NC State. Looked like me when you look like me and you play baseball, Division I baseball, especially at that time, there wasn't many of us. I respected him. I respected his dad used to come to all the games. He drove a Corvette. His mom used to just like drive like a different car every time I seen her. I was like, damn, dude, like what y'all do? What y'all parents do? You know what I mean? Because my mom does hair. Makes sense? So what do y'all parents do that there? My mom comes to one game a year because she can't afford to fly to North Carolina all the damn time. So I just saw that in him and I was like, okay, whatever he's doing, I'm going to do if he invites me. Like, you know, you ever have those friends? Like I had friends that had pools growing up because I didn't have a pool. Make sense? Like I didn't have a pool, but it was hot where I lived at. So you better find a friend with a pool. Like Marcus was like my friend with a pool. Makes sense? I like, and you should always be clear. You'd be like, oh, you use your friends. Yeah, you don't. Like, what do you have your friends for?
Real talk.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, using is not a derogatory or a negative thing. Like, if you're messing with me, hopefully you're using me for a reason. like this is, I mean, so like it's okay to be used. Yeah. You just have to be using the right people. So I always knew that I needed to be connected with people that could help me, benefit me. Make sense? So I would stay close to Marcus. So, but when I saw him doing it and I was done competing in baseball and he was still playing pro ball and doing this part-time, I was like, if the guy who's living the dream that I thought I wanted to live is doing this part-time and he already signed for $250,000, I got $50 in the bank. Why in the hell would I question doing this?
Wait, you're telling me a dude that was playing baseball? I'm talking professional.
That's how I found out about this business.
Huh. Tell us more.
My friend played center field at NC State. He got drafted in the 9th round by the Washington Nationals. And during the off season, he would sell life insurance. And I was like, what you doing, bro? Like, he was just like, yeah, dude, what if baseball don't work out? He was just one of those guys who was just forward thinking all the time. Yep. Lazy as all get out. But bro, he would have an idea and he would go after it. Yep. You know what I mean? He's all about, he was always selling something. Oh, I got these little copper wristbands that'll make your blood run faster. And like, he was always doing stuff like that, but would never finish it. Does that make sense? Right. He's just a great thinker. And he was always around people who was making moves. So that's what really opened my eyes up. But I think the grind of baseball and sports is really what allowed me to keep it pushing. And just the team, dude, I'm a team guy. So back to your integrity question, I saw my teammates joining a different team. There was an all-star team and I wanted to be on it. Right? That was it. There was an all-star team. I wanted to be on it. And then as it pertains to, you know, what allowed me to, I guess, stick it out, because you're going to suck at this. Like, my placement was like 50% my first year.
That's bad.
Real bad. Okay? Like, it was paper app days. You got to give me some grace. Some of y'all got 50% with e-apps. And I'm like, y'all, that's a problem. But but it was paper app. Be clear. Like, it was like it was tough. But I should have still been around 70, 80%. Okay? But I was terrible. So I had a ton of chargebacks, a ton of writing business, not conserving my business, just writing more business to be back at zero.
And is it because you didn't really care that the business was like that, or you just weren't very meticulous?
I was moving so fast, dude, that I just I didn't see the value in slowing down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really didn't. I didn't see the value in slowing down, and that's just slowing down with clients in the home and slowing down after the fact if they cancel or insufficient funds or anything like that. I was just more angry and emotional than I was solution based. That makes sense?
Yep.
And I was angry and just going, I'll just sell more. And then you go out there, get angry and sell more. You start selling it the same way or a worse way. Then you end up making your situation
even worse.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let's transition a little bit. And I want to ask this last question because in today's day and age, there's always better. There's the grass is always greener. There's the new thing. And there's so many distractions. You talked about Sean. As far as a strategy, you're a team player. I get it. Would you say, how critical would you say it is to find someone that you can follow and just follow it to the mountain? Is
I
that
think
that just a personal strategy, or you think that is the strategy to win in today's day of just better out
I,
there?
I think it is the way, and I think you got to understand that you're going to have seasons of different people. You know what I mean? Sean has not been like this was at the beginning. Like he's a pillar in my life, but dude, I didn't learn every part of this business from him. Make sense?
Yeah.
And I needed to know other people. And so I think it's very important. And how do you find these people? You get on trainings,
Yeah.
and it's not this big thing of you need to know them personally, right? There's so many people that I don't know personally that I just like watch their stuff all the time, or I follow them on different platforms and things like that to where, dude, I got mentors that don't even know they mentor me. And that's a beautiful thing that we have in 2023 that you necessarily didn't have 10 years ago. You kind of really did have to know the people. Makes
True.
sense?
True.
So now with the platforms that we have, it's just putting yourself out there, all right, and finding those groups, those peoples, and create the environment that you want. And I think that that's the biggest thing is environment is everything. You win when you're in the right environment. And the right environment is where the positivity is, right? The right environment. And if you're positive, say you're doing your thing and you're positive, that's the right environment. If you're doing your thing and you're negative, you need to get out of there, get into a positive environment. And the more positive people you're around, the more good things will happen.
Love it.
And I just so mentor can kind of go with just positivity, support. I think the support we have here at FFL is just be around good stuff. Just be around people doing what it is you want to do, right? Like I hop in you guys' Zoom, right? Because I want to be in an environment. You don't think I know how to sell insurance? No, dude, I want to be in a better environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I want. I know in the environment I can do more. So don't ever shy away from getting in uncomfortable environments is what I'd say to that.
It's interesting how bad you were. Kind of transition to us today. Everyone knows Dom as I could be just me saying this, but you are the number one appointment setter in the company. When people think about setting appointments, you think of Dom Rodgers. Kind of give us the mindset, Dom. Now, kind of transition. So maybe if you wouldn't mind, tell us some stories. Remember, you had a story about how you used to set appointments and how Sean basically did it. Tell us how bad you were before. Maybe you can start there. And just so folks know people see you the polished, tell us about your first appointment so that people understand where you come from.
So my first dial session, I can't tell you exactly what the numbers were, but I know I only booked like 2 appointments. And it was more of actually hitting the send button, like actually doing it. And understanding that they can't hurt me. So I would call people up and I'm emotional. I'm still to this day, I work on it, right? But I'd be very emotional when I call. And if they told me that they didn't fill it out, I did. Yes, you did. You know what I mean? And I'd just be an argument all the time versus just acknowledging what people are saying and keep it pushing. I had to learn how to talk over people, all right, and not be emotional as I was doing it. All right. So when they go, oh, no, I didn't fill it out, me not going, well, yeah, you did. Me going, well, yeah, I forgot what I had for dinner last night. But anyways, you're over there at 123 Main Street, right? That was difficult for me to do because in my mind, I'm thinking I spent this money on these leads. Who in the hell are they? I'm thinking the lead company's trying to get over on me. I'm thinking that, I still don't even trust Sean. I don't trust Sean. You'd be like, you trust? I didn't trust him. See, you get good when you start trusting. Trust don't come right away, right? So the stuff that he was telling me to do early on, I didn't do all of it because I was hedging my bets. And it's okay to hedge your bets at the beginning. It's just how long are you hedging them? And if you've been here a month, 2, 3, 4 months, and you're still hedging them, maybe it's time for you to just go all in and stop. But if hedging's working for you, keep going. But it wasn't working for me, Mac. Makes sense? So I had to start actually doing what was being taught to me, like calling people 3 times in a row, right? Calling them back when they hung up on me.
So you were kind of resisting doing the triple down.
Yeah.
Bothering people.
100%. Dude, let's be clear. You do not get a result and not be winning when you follow directions. Like, I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah.
I wasn't. He's like, yo, start at 8 o'clock, dial on the phone. Shit, I was starting at like 9:15, right? You know what I mean? Oh well, so it's just all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that I wasn't intentionally going, I don't want to listen to them. I was just, my fear and lack of confidence outweighed my trust in the system.
Yep.
Right. But you suck long enough. So I went 2, 3, 4 weeks, not booking no appointments. Marcus is making sales, right? They're on leaderboards. Oh, yeah, they did all this, and I ain't on the leaderboard. You got to go through some of that to realize, all right, the way I'm doing it ain't working, so let me change. I know very few people who just come in and just follow everything to the T. I don't know that guy or girl. Makes sense? And some of them start and they do everything to the T, and then they start learning and doing, and then they stop. So I've seen both ends. I've seen people come in, they follow everything, and then right when they start making money, they start missing some things that got them there.
It was so good they stopped doing it.
Correct. It was so good that they're like, nah, I know that now.
Yep.
I got guys right now. They're with us 9, 10 months in, right? And we're going back to the why. Like, dude, did you stop telling people like how you found this business, and like how like lack of experience you have, and how you just had a dream to, not be broke when you're 45 years old? You don't, you stopped telling your clients that? Why? Why'd you stop telling them that? Oh, you know about insurance now. So all you do is talk about insurance when you get in the home, and you wonder why you ain't selling nothing. That's where I'm at today with some guys and girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the reality is, when they didn't know anything about insurance, they really had to sell themselves.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
They really had to sell themselves. They really had to let the client know, why am I here? So I got guys 22, 23, 25 years old playing baseball, sports before. When they started, their pitch was, yeah, I'm as you can tell, I just got my license, and I wasn't dreaming about being Mr. Insurance Agent forever. I was just playing college baseball last year, and a guy who's been doing it for 10 years, he actually shot me a DM and invited me to come work with him, and now I'm here with you. He said that he had people that filled out requests for insurance, and now I'm here. Looks like he told me the truth, because you need insurance, right? Yep. All right. Well, now I'm here. All right. So I don't know everything about insurance, but I do know you need it. And I do know a guy who's been doing it for 10 years. When they started, that was their pitch. That's how they lowered all. And they didn't, you know what they didn't get? They didn't get a whole bunch of questions about stupid stuff.
Correct.
They were selling deals.
Because they were related. They were related.
But right. Yeah. But next thing you know, now they know about IUL. Now they know about this, that, or the other. Now they heard about this guy over here in Florida does this, and now this. I'm like, bruh, you're killing yourself right now. So back to your thing about the mentor and things like that, guys, don't be having somebody new every week. There's not like a new flavor of the week. It's not just because you had a bad week, you need to start writing IULs, or just because you had a great week, you need to only be writing annuities, or you only run mortgage protection, or you only do this. It's like, that's how you end up doing a lot of this in the business, and you're looking for the shortcuts, and you'll always end up short.
Yep.
Makes sense? So take what I'm saying right now with a grain of salt. Be clear, right? But if it's working for you, keep doing what you're doing. But if it's not, be open to change. So
now tell me this, Dom, your appointment setting skills now. What is is it a mindset thing? Is it a how-to thing?
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset does it take to
it's a mindset of I'm in control. I have something that they need, right? So if I'm calling you up, Mac, yeah, hi, it's Mac. See, when I call you up, I want you to think that, like, man, this guy is, dude, he's just doing his job. He's just doing his job. He really don't really care if I do it or not. He's just doing his job. So Mac, yeah, this is Mac, Dom here, getting back to you about that post online you saw was an ad about life insurance. My job is to see if you qualify for that. I'm assuming you remember doing that, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Great. I don't remember what I had for dinner last night sometimes. Your birthday's 12/12/63, right? Yep,
Mhm.
that's what's here, 6'2" and 180 pounds. No, that's incorrect. Okay, well, you might have put in there. A lot of people put that they're a little bit taller than they really are. Are you shorter than that? Yeah, I'm about 6 foot. Yeah, a lot of people give a couple inches. I hear you. I used to do the same thing in sports. What I say stupid stuff all the time. Make sense?
Do you follow script or just roll with
Dude,
it?
I just talk to people. I just talk to people. I'm not big on script. I'm big on first name. Say their first name. Don't say hi, is this Mac? Don't say hi, Mac. How you doing? Don't say that. He says hello, Mac. A woman picks up the phone. Hello, Mac. Even
Yep.
though you know it ain't Mac, say it. She'll go get Mac. She'll just go
Right.
get him. But if you go, oh hi, is Mac around? She's gonna go, well, who is this? Now you're screwed. All right. First name only. So I'll take notes down, Mac, on my phone script. Like I don't have a script. I just take notes. I go first name. Next thing is I'm getting back to you. My next point, I'm getting back to you. Too many people say I'm calling about. I'm calling about. I'm calling about. I'm like, how does that separate you from everybody else calling about something?
Mhm.
It's little stuff like that that you're like, oh, you're reading a script, but you're really not seeing the parts that really matter in that script. And I'd rather just tell people the parts that really matter. Because in between shit, I may say different stuff all the time, but I'm always saying first name. I'm always saying I'm getting back to you,
Hmm.
right? I'm always saying my job is simple. That's my transition into scheduling the appointment, right? If I'm doing telesales, I'm always saying grab a pen. That's my transition. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, so there's things that you're always going to have to say. And there may be different ways you say it or times you say it or what's in between. But I think you have to have those cement, concrete things
The
that
pillars.
are always in there. Yeah, that are always in there. So, first name, getting back to you.
Yeah.
My job is simple. Grab a pen. Is that number on the house or the mailbox? You know what I mean?
Got it. Let me ask you
Just
this. Well,
yeah,
Dom, are you telesales is a big thing these days?
yeah,
You came from going in home.
yeah.
Good, bad, different. Which one do you cater to? How do you decide when an agent's coming in, which direction they should go?
Man, I don't care which way. I just know that the expectations has to be set. You got to know what you're walking into. Okay. Um, a lot of folks don't have the mental fortitude to sit at their computer for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I'm just going to be real. Okay. That's what it takes to win at telesales or Zoom sales. Okay. Um, you're not just going to be able to, oh, I got 2 appointments. And then one off, they actually show up. And then two, in 2 hours, who are you to say, oh, I'm going to one call close these 2 deals? Like it could happen, but it very well may not happen. So you have to know on the telesales and Zoom virtual sales end, you're putting in 40, 50, 60 hours a week minimum. You have to. And if you're not, just don't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't do it.
Educate their
Now,
expectations.
yeah, just expectations. And it's okay. You're like, I don't want to work 40, 50, 60 hours sitting at my desk. Cool. Here's your other option. Book yourself 10 to 15 appointments every 2 days. Okay. It's going to take you 8 hours to book those appointments. And then you have 7, 8 appointments each day that you're out there. You're going to get no showed. You're going to be driving around. You're going to be busy, though. It's going to force you to be busy. It's going to force you to grow up. For me, at 23, 24, if you would have just told me to do telesales, I would have been out of this business in 27 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, I had zero business acumen. I had zero will to actually get my ass up in the morning. Like, are you serious? Like, bro, if I didn't have to drive an hour and a half to my appointments, I would sleep until the appointment.
Let
You
me
with
ask
me?
you this. There's some people that are doing telesales by choice, but if
Yeah.
Sean was their mentor, would he have told them come in the office?
Nah, he tell you to go in the field until you're making money. And then when you're making money, if you make a decision to try to learn telesales and do your deal, and it doesn't work, at least you have something to fall back on,
Right.
right? But if you just start that way, your learning curve is just longer. It just is. Now, and that is just for most people. Be clear. I can say for myself, and I think I'm like most people. most people lazy, most people never owned a business, most people don't have, most people, right? It's like, am I wrong with that? Like, I was in that boat of like, I needed to be forced and give myself more possibilities to win. If I'm only doing virtual sales, I have one way to make a sale. If I'm doing, how many times in the field, dude, I show up to a house and they go, oh, I forgot.
Yes.
But I'm here.
But
I'm here anyways. And I make the sale. You know how many times I went to the house, they weren't there. And then I just knocked on another door and was like, yo, did y'all get one of these forms yet? Or, hey, what y'all here for? Cheryl ain't here. Oh, she ain't here? Damn, I had an appointment with her about life insurance. You got some? See, like I've how many dollars I've been put in my bank account for that? So if I'm a new agent, why would I not want that opportunity?
Yeah.
Why would I only give myself one avenue to get a deposit? That doesn't make sense. Now, after you've shown yourself that, right? Now you can dial it in. You can dial it in on the phone. You can dial it in on the shoddy. There's a lot of these guys who did $1 million plus. Now they're transitioning into virtual. Why? Because now they know the game, dude. By the way, virtual, you're going to spend twice as much minimally on leads.
And for those
right.
Shoddy was the number 2 producer last year. I think he did 1.2 million, something like that. Now he's transitioning, but he's learned the game.
Correct.
Let me transition real quick with the time we got left. We got a bunch of questions. People are asking, okay, what are some key questions to ask in the first few minutes to weed out folks who are not in the position to buy? Shoppers, not buyers.
On the phone or on the
phone.
On the phone. All right. Do you work? Are you working or retired? Nah, I'm on disability. Cool. You actually getting a disability check? Nah, I'm waiting on it. All right, cool. Call me when you get it. Make sense? I'm gonna just keep it real. Like, let's shut that down. I used to book those appointments. And I used to be like, dude, why? But they never work out. So stop it. Just don't do it.
Move on.
You know what I mean? Oh, I don't have a job. Okay, cool. That means like you don't have any money coming in? No. Okay, well, this insurance you got to pay for it, dude. So we can't do business. So stop filling these things out until you got a job.
I love it. Real talk. Just give them.
Let's just cut it out, right? Let's just stop.
You know stop being all professional and just talk. Just give them the business.
Just be real.
Second question.
And they'll appreciate you for it. I had one lady last week, instant beneficiary lead. She goes, well, I'd need a bank account. And I was like, well, I don't know if you're gonna get it or not, if you can or not, but you're gonna need it. You're gonna need a bank account in order to, you're gonna pay for this. She goes, yeah, okay, thank you so much. I just need to, and it was a 30-second conversation.
Yeah.
But when I started, I would have just booked the appointment. Like she would have said, oh, do I gotta pay for anything? And I would have just like, no, I just gotta drop it off to you. It's no big deal. And I would have booked the appointment, showed up, her ass would have been there, and she wouldn't have had no money.
Right. Wasted your time.
Because they there. They don't no show you. Okay. They be there. They be ready. But they be the ones without no money or a bank account.
What are your biggest why question that you ask now that you didn't ask when you started?
You said why?
Why questions.
Why questions? Well, you know what? At the beginning, I never asked them, if you were to die yesterday, what would it look like today? That was very uncomfortable for me. Very uncomfortable. But now, dude, it's my opening why question. That's how I get into it. I don't ask them, do you have insurance? How much do you have? I go, hey, Mac, hey, you were to die yesterday. All right. What does your wife and family have in place today to take care of this?
Sets the stage.
And I'll wait. I used to pedal around it, right? You know what I mean? How much do you have? Yeah. So just be straight up with them. Hey, if you were to die yesterday, what would it look like today? And that was one of the things that Sean trained me on at the beginning. But dude, I was too smart. I was too smart. Nah, I don't do that. Nah, I can't do that. Nah. But once you start doing it,
Dom, it seems like the better you get, it's almost like perfection is done by subtraction, not addition. You take out the junk that you used to say and you just, like a scalpel, just cut straight to it.
Yeah.
Right? Another question. Yeah. Were you ever at a point of your business where you were trying to get past 20 to 30K a month and you couldn't? What did you do to break that barrier to get to that next level?
It was what I was willing to do. When I was stuck sub 30, okay, I was finishing my days before 7. I may not work on a Sunday. I had to change what I was willing to do. You see what I'm saying? And that was really the biggest thing. I always like, dude, I want more, but I wasn't giving anything up in order to get more. In order to put more in, you got to take some out. We always want more, but never want to take never like, okay, what are we gonna stop doing in order to gain? So I had to start working every weekend. I had to stop trying to be home for dinner. Make sense? Whatever that was, I just had to run it. And when I opened myself up and stopped putting those type of limits on myself, 30 plus was there. Makes sense? But anybody 15, 20, they're looking at it, look at your schedule and tell me tell me that you're giving it. Not to say you're not working, but are you giving that extra? Are you know what I mean? Are you doing it? And the answer is probably no.
Love it.
You just gotta be honest. You just gotta be honest with yourself.
Honest with yourself. Someone asked this question. I think it's something similar you said before. They ask when your aha moment. I think you talked sometime in the past about the difference between helping clients and taking applications. Like, when was that aha moment when the business went from your head and your pocketbook to your heart?
Well, I was out running, and I was in Moore County, North Carolina. I'll never forget it. Pinehurst. All right. And I went to a house, and when I show up, the first thing she says is "thank you." And I go, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, thank you. You helped my father out, Eric Dickerson, with the insurance." And I go, "Oh, that's your dad?" She goes, "Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to take care of the funeral without it." Dude.
Wait, so a lead that you ran, that you booked an appointment with,
Correct.
to be a lead who, wow.
Yes. Talk about God. I ain't trying to preach, but I'm just letting you know, bro. Like, when things happen, and you better be there and be prepared to accept it. And I was ready. Makes sense. I didn't know it was coming. So I walk in, she goes, "Yeah, you helped my dad out with the insurance." Now, she filled the form out just to get insurance, not knowing that I was going to be the guy. But when I called her and told her, "Hey, Dominique is coming over," she put it all together. Oh, this is the same insurance guy my dad had. Now, her dad filled out a form 6 months prior to that. Okay. Wow. And so when I walk in, so that was a big moment for me to go, yo, I'm out here ripping and running. I didn't even know Eric really died, dude. I probably got the email, probably got the thing in the mail, but I'm ripping and running, dude. I'm just running. Remember, I told you my placement was 50%. Remember, I told you I'm just trying to replace chargebacks. Remember? Yeah. I'm running. The bit, like, so you talk about from my head to my heart, that's what it took. It took for me to be in an appointment while I'm running to slow down to go, yo, thank you for helping my dad out. I'm like, oh shit, what I do really matters. Oh man. And that was my first death claim, Mac, that I actually took in. Make sense? And then from there on out, dude, I wasn't just slinging insurance, man. I was helping families. You know what I mean? And I didn't never lose my sight for profit and things like that. But dude, I tell you what, man, like, that really made it to where those late nights and early mornings were worth it. Because when I seen their family, and I never seen a family who actually received a death claim. You got to sit back and think about how powerful that is. Like, you struggling. God damn, I just, like, this is so big. Like, who sells something like we sell and expects to be good at it without ever seeing the end of it? And I really wish that everybody works really hard. And if it takes you just running, because, like, while I was just running and ripping apps and, I guess, quote unquote, not really having my heart into it, I was working really hard. And when you work really hard, it will open up things for you. Yeah. Makes sense. And that's like what it opened up for me, was like, oh, wow, this is so much bigger. So I want that for everybody. If you've been doing this 6 months, 9 months, a year, and you have not gotten a death claim yet, challenge yourself to work harder. Challenge yourself. Because the only reason you have it, and please don't be offended. Remember, being offended is a choice. The only reason you don't have a death claim and you've been with us 9+ months, you ain't been helping enough people.
Mic drop.
You ain't been helping enough people. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? Proof. How long, Mac? How long before you got your first death claim?
6 months.
6 months. How many families were you helping a month up until that?
30.
There you go. You helping 5, 10, maybe 15, it never happens to you.
No.
It never happens. You're making some decent money. You're making, okay, you're okay, but it never hits your heart. That 6 months when then you got that debt, it was like, whoo.
This is real. Like, I'm not just making
Yes, this is for real.
Yeah. People really die. Like,
yeah,
you were just telling you were telling them a story, but like, wait, they actually die.
They actually die on your watch. And that, it freaks you out in a very good way.
Yeah.
So it's that's massive, dude. So
I got someone asking, bear with me here. How did you keep your mind in the game with all those massive chargebacks? Just trying to stay ahead of it.
You know what, man?
Understand,
because there was other people winning. That's where it matters. Like, you better stay plugged in, because if you're sucking and you're not plugged in, you're gonna think the whole world sucks, right?
Good.
But I was sucking, but my freaking peers had 75, 80% placement, and they were keeping all their money. So working the same damn leads that I was. And I'm like, so I had, but the only reason I knew it was me, Mac, is because I kept myself in the environments.
I love it.
You see what I'm saying? If you're not in the environment, you think that you're special. You think, oh, damn, dude, this happens to everybody. No, dude. No, I had to look in the mirror and go, bro, it's something that you're doing. I see this question on here. It says, primary change you made to minimize those initial chargebacks. I had to get away from, like, I have to close everybody, to I really have to sell and help everybody. I went from closing, let me take an application, draft dates. I was a draft date king. All right. If I met you on the 3rd, bro, and you just got paid on the 3rd, your draft date was the next month on the 3rd. Makes sense? That's how bad I was, because it was easier for me to close it. You were posting. So I took the easy route. Who in the hell is going to say no to take an application and fake paying for it in 28 days?
Right. You didn't really buy.
Everybody's now, for temporary, I felt like the close king. I'm closing everybody. And then I saw the carnage. Okay. Right. And it was a lot slower back then in paper app days. It makes sense. And so that's really what kept me going, was that I saw other people winning, but the change was I had to stop wanting to close everybody. I had to keep running high volume of appointments, because I thought the chargebacks were because I was writing so much. Then I was like, let me write less. That just shows my business acumen, right? I was like, I'm just gonna write less, and like, yeah, right. I made it worse, right? So I was like, dude, just keep your volume high, and then take the layups. And then what I wasn't doing is I kept the volume got small, and then there was no layups. I was having to force everything. And when you run 30, 40 appointments a week, you're gonna find 5, 10 people that just say yes to you. Just sell those ones. But when you're only running 15 or 20, you're gonna force people to do stuff in a way that you don't even know you're doing it. You don't know that you're doing it until you stop doing it. Then you're like, oh my God, this is what it feels like just to, like, take an app and not fight people and not, you know what I mean? Or at the very end, oh, so we're gonna need your banking. Whoa. No, the easy ones are at the beginning when you say that, right? Like, no, yeah, we're gonna need your banking, we're gonna need that. Like, but you're very forward with things like that when you have 15 appointments. You're not forward with stuff like that when you have 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So keep your volume high, and then it will your appointment volume high, and you won't feel this pressure. I didn't feel this pressure that I had to close everybody.
I like that. Now, to kind of piggyback, someone's just asking you to clarify. People that are on Social Security, disability, what does that conversation sound like when the whole forwarding, post dating it to the next month? Yeah. They spend their money. How do you handle that? Is immediate drafts a normal thing we should be espousing, or is it just they're on disability, so you just kind of just go with the program?
All right, I think that I'll always initial draft, unless they sell me on a real reason why they can't. Now, here's the thing that you have to assess the situations right. All right. Don't do it in a sense of right when they go, or they ask you, okay, when do I have to pay for this? A lot of us initially go, well, what works for you? And then we set ourselves up to that we have to do what they tell us that they want to do. versus does this come out of my, like, do I have to pay for this today? Nah, it probably won't come out today, but it will probably come out tomorrow, the day after. You'd be so surprised that they'll just go, okay, okay. Like, I'm just being real with you. Like, if you just say that, they'll be like, okay. What a lot of us do is we not just straight up with them with it. We think that they're like they have a concern. No, dude, they just have a question. Answer it. That's it. It's not an objection. It's not a concern.
A complaint, not an objection.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, like dude, they're just asking. They're just asking a question, dude. And so, so I think sometimes we put too much merit on their questions. And but if it's the 15th, right, and this policy is $42 a month, and they're like, man, I can't pay for this until the 3rd, and I'm gonna really sit there and ask them, hey, Mac,
Yep.
They allow you to pay for it, 2 weeks out on the 3rd. But to be honest with you, if you don't have the money 12 days after you got your check, and like you ain't told me anything crazy happened, right? Like your AC didn't go out, your heater didn't go out, like, should we really even be doing this?
Ooh.
Because if you don't have $42 right now, and I know you're going to have it on the 3rd when you get paid, but what's going to happen in 3 months?
You actually say that.
Hell yeah. And I say that after you had a 50% placement and you realize how bad chargebacks suck. You start doing that. You just start being very honest with people.
That's good.
Makes sense. And then you'll start finding out, then the real person who's really going to sell you, they go, yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, I was just really bad, but this is really important to me. And on the 3rd, I just need to make this out. Like, are you sure? Right? Because I'd rather just not do it. I don't want to put you and your family in this position. Because it's $42, man. Like, you spend more than that, you go to Food for Less on a Tuesday.
Come on.
So, like, I just want to be real with you. Now, on the flip side, it's $342 a month. Okay? 304. I had one the week before last. $340 a month. Okay. I met with them on the 6th or the 9th, actually. It was the 9th. Okay. It was a Friday. And I wrote it, did everything, told them it was coming out. And then as I was leaving, they go, hey, I know you said it was going to come out like in the next couple days. Could it come out on the 12th? That would be a lot easier for us. I go, let me see real quick if I could do that. Knowing I could. Okay.
Right.
All right. Knowing I could. And I go, let me see real quick. Call up there. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We can make that happen. That was 3 days later. And I didn't move. Okay. And I'll be clear. They didn't ask for the 12th. They asked for the next month. I'm sorry. They asked for the next month. They said, hey, can we start this in June? I said, no, the furthest they're going to let you go out is the 12th. And they go, okay, the 12th will be good. And then you can do it on the 9th moving forward. And I was like, thumbs up. And that's $342 a month. We got people at $32 a month bending over and putting, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, just don't, dude. If they don't buy it and it ain't drafted within 24 to 48 hours, it never really happened. And I think you just have to live in the real world. Yeah. But you got to live in the fake world a little bit for these words that I'm saying to you right now to really hit home. Because if you ain't never been there, this don't make no sense. You don't even get it. So
man, let me throw 2 questions at you with the last buzzer beaters. What are some tie downs you do for telesales? Post sale that you use to keep the books, keep the business on the
Great question. All right. So telesale, I'm gonna get them on FaceTime. I may not do the whole thing on FaceTime, but the end, I'm calling them on FaceTime. A lot of people got iPhones. So you got iPhone, boom, brr, I don't even ask them to FaceTime. I just FaceTime them. I don't care if I see them. I just want them to see me. Make sense? If they don't have an iPhone and I'm texting them already and it's green, now I know, hey, you got WhatsApp? Everybody, a lot of people 50 plus, they got WhatsApp, dude. They got that. So I FaceTime them on WhatsApp.
Good.
This is massive for the telesale, dude. All right? I need them to remember me. I need them to know my face, who I am. I'll screenshot that as well, and I'll text that to them. Hey, thanks for help. I want you to always remember this face. I know you love the voice, but here's the face. Stupid stuff like that. I want them to remember. Yeah. Because if you're just doing telesales, it's very transactional. If you don't build a real relationship, your business will get replaced.
Yeah,
it will. It will. It will. It will. You have got to build a relationship on telesales, and that happens at the close. It happens at the close. In the in-home, you can do a lot of that stuff at the beginning, middle, but that doesn't happen on the phone. On the phone, you got to get to it. You got to get moving. But at the end, slow the hell down. Don't be so happy you took a nap, and help them with some stuff. Living wills. I help them out with a living will. It's a free website, doyourownwill.com, right? I tell them about that. I bring value that other people aren't going to bring. Does that make sense? So
sure.
Right when they go, oh, I got this one. Like, yeah, dude, but that guy didn't help us out with the will. Remember that guy helped us out with the will? I know that guy's $3 cheaper, but remember he told us that America has accidental forever and it don't end at age 70? Mm-hmm. Remember he told us that? Remember he told us that we were probably going to see other insurance for cheaper, but cheap doesn't mean value? Remember he told us that? That's the last 5 minutes on the phone, bro.
Take notes, y'all. Cheap don't mean value.
I used to be so happy with just getting the app and hanging up. Then I'd be so confused on, damn, they like me. Why did they cancel the policy? Yeah, bro, because you didn't educate them on the industry. You didn't educate them that there was going to be another guy named Dom Rodgers calling them next week. You didn't tell them that. Yep. Make sense?
That's good.
I think that's how you keep business on the books. And that's on the in-home too. My placement was 50% because I wasn't educating them. I was taking the app, getting out of there like the Hamburglar. Make sense? Hey, yo, this has been fun, Mac. Thanks for having me, dude.
Hey, guys, this is awesome. Appreciate you, Don. And hey, listen, guys, Dom is, you know, for I'll say this and we'll close. For the greats that we idolize and we look up and are in history, when they were living, the contemporaries of the greats, they were just doing what they do. They were just doing their job. So, Dom, I appreciate you guys. These are the kind of caliber people we got at FFL. This is why FFL for life, guys. So again, take care, take charge, guys. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks, Dom.
Right on. Thanks for having me, Mac. Peace out, man.